The year 2022 marked Northern Mindanao's further recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, the region is back on track to a high-growth path. Region 10's economy grew by 7.2% at constant 2018 prices in 2022, faster than the 2021 growth rate of 6.3% and within the region's recalibrated target for the year. This is an indication of the region's further recovery from COVID-19 pandemic and a manifestation of its resilience amid external headwinds. The total gross regional domestic product or GRDP output for 2022 was valued at 935 billion pesos and accounts for 4.7% of the total national output. Northern Mindanao emerged as the 7th largest economy among the 17 regions and joined the ranks of trillion-peso regional economies with a total nominal output of 1.07 trillion pesos in 2022. 2022 was a transition year, taking with it the gains during the administration of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, some of which are in upholding our commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as recovery from Typhoon Odette, which affected parts of the region late in the year. Also in the same year, the region embarked on developing the Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028, which is anchored on the 8-point socio-economic agenda of the Marcos administration. In terms of poverty reduction, Northern Mindanao already achieved its poverty targets in 2018, 4 years ahead of schedule. This was driven by the region's high-growth episode in the previous decade and the government's prudent macroeconomic policies as well as game-changing reforms. However, the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our growth momentum and pushed back more Filipinos in the region to poverty. Poverty incidence among population increased to 26.1% in 2021, translating to 1.32 million Filipinos in the region living in poverty, or 190,000 more compared to 2018. Despite the challenges in alleviating the socio-economic status of our people, labor market conditions in the region continue to improve. Our employment rate marginally increased to 95.45%, while underemployment eased to 13.65%. Not only did we see more jobs, but we also generated better quality jobs in 2022. For 2022, the services sector recorded the highest share of the GRDP at 54.5%, followed by the industry at 25.6%, and agriculture, forestry, and fishing at 19.9%. The services sector demonstrated resilience as restrictions were gradually lifted. Much of the sector's growth was from activities in human capital, health, and social work subsectors, with substantial improvements in healthcare. The continued easing of pandemic-related mobility restrictions led to increased demand for travel and tourism-related services, or as it is coined nowadays, a phenomenon called revenge travel. Meanwhile, the slow growth of the agriculture, forestry, and fishing is attributed to the modest increase in crop production. Notwithstanding, the region remained the second biggest contributor to the country's total agricultural output in 2022. Among other regions in the country, Northern Mindanao topped the list in the production of pineapple, cattle, and hog, ranked second in banana, coconut, corn, papaya, and sugarcane, and third in chicken. The growth drivers of Northern Mindanao are wholesale and retail trade, agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. Meanwhile, value of investments increased by 5% from 3.83 billion pesos in 2021 to 4.04 billion pesos in 2022. Moreover, taxes and customs collections continued to grow owing to the full reopening of the economy and improved collections operations. In 2022, the region hit its planned target for tax revenues with 13.83 billion pesos. In the same year, the region also collected a total of 37.41 billion pesos in customs revenues. Inflation accelerated to 5.8% from 3.9% in 2021, higher than the region's end-of-plan target range of 2 to 4%. Along governance, the region supported one of the landmark legislations for 2022, which is Executive Order 138 Series of 2021, or the Full Devolution Policy. Also in 2022, a total of 23 Northern Mindanao LGUs were awarded with the seal of Good Local Governance using the new guidelines. Moreover, out of 93 LGUs in the region, 42 participated in the rollout of the community-based monitoring system conducted year-end. The previous administration's thrust toward attaining peace and order called for the security sector's relentless fight against criminality and illegal drugs. In 2022, most of the crime indicators logged positive performance and exceeded end-of-plan targets. The Convergence Areas for Peace and Development, or CAPDEV program, remains as the region's banner program towards the attainment of inclusive and sustainable development and just and lasting peace. In the region, from 2019 to first quarter of 2023, a total of 4,244 PAPs were reported in various clusters, amounting to 83.3 billion pesos. Complementing the CAPDEV program is the region's successful implementation of the Local Government Fund Support to Barangay Development Program. The region has been also successful in weakening the presence of communist terrorist groups in hotbeds, channeling resources to CAPDEV-focused barangays, assisting former rebels who opted to rejoin society. In terms of natural disasters, the number of casualties in affected persons decreased year on year, hinting at improvements in disaster risk reduction and management systems. Northern Mindanao continually aims for zero casualty from human-induced and natural disasters. In protecting the health capacities of its people, the region administered a total of 6,807,767 first and second doses of COVID-19 vaccine in 2022. This represents 92.4% of the eligible population. As to the booster doses, 14.54% were inoculated with both first and second doses. In improving health systems, the standard hospital-to-bed population ratio target for Level 1 and Level 2 was not attained, with Level 3 hospitals at 1:4,391 as of year-end of 2022. Maternal mortality ratio per 100,000 live births and infant mortality per 1,000 live births also decreased in 2022. On to education. Northern Mindanao posted almost 100% cohort survival rate and completion rate for the elementary level in the last year. Dropout rates for the level also decreased from 3% in 2016 to 0.07% in 2022. Net enrollment rates increased from the baseline data in 2016. However, rates for the kindergarten, junior, and senior high school levels did not meet its end-of-plan targets. The number of tertiary enrollees monitored in all programs went up by 80% from 2016 to 2022, but the number of graduates monitored decreased at almost 10%. While the target for tertiary education subsidy grantees was not met because there were no new grantees for academic year 2021 to 2022 and academic year 2022 to 2023. Along learning, the region endeavors to strengthen the competence of its teachers and instructional leaders, improve the alternative learning system, and ensure alignment of curriculum programs from basic to higher education in order to meet labor market needs. For housing, a total of 21,780 units were constructed from 2017 to 2022, going beyond the end-of-plan target of 19,518 units. By the end of 2022, the region through the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program or 4Ps was able to sustain 274,462 household beneficiaries in the region. Based on the Social Welfare and Development Indicators tool, 34.48% of the household beneficiaries were able to attain self-sufficiency in 2022. Moreover, the social pension program served 234,689 indigent senior citizens for the given year. Also, 143,564 informal workers were provided with emergency employment through the Tulong Panghanapbuhay sa Ating Disadvantaged or Displaced Workers program. As a result of the easing of community quarantine restrictions, child labor profiling activities resumed, achieving its end-of-plan target. The region strengthened its efforts in not only monitoring child laborers, but also campaigning against unlawful child labor. Part of the Child Labor Prevention and Elimination Program was the staging of the Dolegula or Pelikulang Dole, which aims to increase awareness of child labor in its worst forms. Infrastructure. This plays an important role in attaining the country's long-term vision of a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay. In Region 10, our major imperatives are in bridging infrastructure gaps and establishing an efficient, responsive, safe, and ecologically friendly built environment. The following infrastructure flagship projects and the regional priorities were implemented and steered in 2022. Panguil Bay Bridge Project, a 3.77-kilometer two-lane bridge that will connect Tangub City in Misamis Occidental and the Tubod Municipality in Lanao del Norte. Cagayan de Oro Coastal Road, a two-section 27-kilometer road that serves as an alternate route to help decongest traffic along the Butuan-Cagayan de Oro Iligan Road. Flood Risk Management Project for Cagayan de Oro River. Structural and non-structural measures that aim to mitigate flood risk in Cagayan de Oro River Basin through the construction of flood protection measures. Bukidnon Airport Development Project, a 149.64 hectare new airport in Barangay Maray-Maray, Municipality of Don Carlos in Bukidnon. Upgrade, expansion, operation, and maintenance of the Lagindingan Airport, aimed at increasing the airport capacity to 11.28 million passengers per year by the end of the concession period of 35 years. Mindanao Irrigation Development Project. Two of the four components of the project, the Balingasag and Bubunawan River irrigation systems, are implemented in Region 10. Integrated Flood Resilience and Adaptation, or the INFRA Project, Phase 1, aims to reduce flood risk and vulnerability of communities in and around Ranao or the Agus River Basin. Digital Transformation Centers that provide quality ICT facilities to improve communities' access to information, communication, technology, government services, non-formal education, skills training, telehealth, job markets, and business portals. Along energy, a total of 2,347.3 milliwatts of dependable capacity was recorded in 2022 from the combined power output of electric power plants operating in Region 10. This is 8.7% higher compared to that in 2021. Barangay electrification also reached 100%. However, sitio electrification coverage remains as a concern, as only 84.2% of the target sitios were energized in 2022. In terms of access to drinking water by service level, based on the Annual Poverty Indicator Survey in 2020, 94.3% of the 1.168 million families in the region enjoy a basic level of drinking water from an improved source. This is better than the country's 93.9% average. However, around 1.6% of families in the region still access drinking water from unprotected dug wells or springs. On sanitation, about 82.5% of families in Region 10 have access to a basic service level of sanitation facilities. Still, the challenge remains to address the 1.2% of families that practice open defecation. The level of irrigation development in the region stands at 68.9% as of 31st of December 2022, which is equivalent to 83,662 hectares of service area out of the potential irrigable areas of 121,512 hectares. With the use of the innovative platform for PPA's location assessment, monitoring, investment programming, and budgeting for development planning and governance, or the Ipalamdag system, a total of 79 flood control projects with a total project cost of 12.784 billion pesos are under implementation in the region. As of 31st of December 2022, 63 projects have been completed. Digital infrastructure plays a crucial role in narrowing the digital divide by improving access to technology, information, and services for individuals and communities. In Region 10, all 93 cities and municipalities have already been covered by cellular mobile telephone system. However, only 76% of the targeted barangays, or 1,529 out of 2,022, have been reached by ICT services as of the fourth quarter of 2022. In 2022, free internet access was made available to 6 cities and 26 municipalities in northern Mindanao. There were 3 new Tech for Ed centers established in Region 10. The region has established a total of 157 Tech for Ed centers in Region 10 since 2017. As part of addressing COVID-19 through the Regional Recovery Program, non-hospital facilities, including private facilities identified as isolation and quarantine units, were funded, constructed, and utilized by the LGUs. The region also established 62 TTMFs, Ligtas COVID centers, and isolation units in 2022. As of 2022, 93.55% at the junior high school level, 97.24% of schools at the elementary or primary level, and 100% for senior high school level were connected to electric sources. However, there are still 74 public schools in the region which do not have access to electric power. These schools are partly located in geographically isolated and disadvantaged and conflict-affected areas. One of the core elements of our regional vision is to become the gateway to the southern part of the country. Hence, connectivity is one of our many advantages. As of October 14, 2022, the total road length of the national highways in Region 10 reached 1,977.54 kilometers, representing 23.41% of the total length of national roads in Mindanao. In 2022, the total ship calls dropped to 26,915 from 27,657 in the previous year. The port of Zamis posted the highest drop in the number of ship calls at 2.88%, while the base ports of Cagayan de Oro and Iligan posted slight reductions at less than 1%. The total volume of cargoes handled by the base ports of the region also decreased to 7.79 million metric tons in 2022 from 8.06 million metric tons in 2021. For 2022, the total number of passengers more than doubled, reaching 2.7 million from 935,931 in 2021. Incoming and outgoing commercial flights recorded in 2022 numbered 16,574 flights, exceeding the planned target by 149.32% with 11,100 target total flights for the year. The 2022 flights levels are already 71% of the pre-pandemic or 2019 levels at 11,752 flights. The total volume of incoming and outgoing cargoes reached a total of 15.39 million kilograms, achieving the end-of-plan target of 15.10 million kilograms. The accomplishments of Northern Mindanao are the results of the resolute and relentless service and partnership of the government, private sector, and the citizens. A total of 144 resolutions were approved by the RDC-10 for calendar year 2022. Moreover, as part of the leadership transition, the RDC-10 elected its new set of officers for the term 2022 to 2025. In a historic turn, Lanao del Norte Provincial Governor Imelda Quibranza de Maporo was appointed as the first woman chairperson of the RDC-10. The year 2022 propelled the region towards the first base camp of the summit, that is, Ambisyon Natin 2040, laying down the foundations for inclusive growth and resilient Northern Mindanao amid the backdrop of the lingering health crisis, ongoing geopolitical tensions, and the warming world. The region now ascends towards the second base camp, of which the goal is to achieve economic and social transformation for a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society.
Usa ka kinabuhing lig-on, hamugaway ug adunay kasiguraduhan para sa tanan. Kini ang atong ambisyon para sa kaugalingon, sa atong pamilya, para sa rehiyon ug para sa nasod. I urge all the Northern Mindanaoans, let us persist and work together to solidify our position as an international gateway, leading agricultural hub, and major industrial, tourism, and trade center in the Philippines, with empowered citizens, enjoying comfortable lives, sustainably harnessing the region's agricultural and natural resources and cultural assets, while living in a harmonious, inclusive, smart, safe, and resilient environment. Akong gidasig ang tanan, and let us not allow today to pass without working towards these aspirations. And let us constantly mind our purposes, for there is no greater time to be alive. Our time, the time is now for Northern Mindanao, atong gimahal nga rehiyon.